ladies, are you ready? Awesome. We'll start with my neighbor.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you all, how you're feeling about this team and where things stand here, entering your first Big 12 tournament.
I think Sunday's game really was just like, we're here. This is where we are, and we're gonna get better from that. But I think we really connected, we really clicked, and that's what, going forward, what we're planning on playing like.
Yeah, I think we struggled a little bit, obviously, but I think Sunday we really connected the dots and fired on all cylinders: defense, pitching, hitting, and I think we're just gonna remember we're trusting in the process and not the outcome. And so I think the same things that we did and showed on Sunday, we're going to continue to ride that.
How did you all feel that Sunday thing came together, as far as whether there's a turning point or something that sort of led to that feeling?
I feel like a lot of it had to do with reminding ourselves it's not about our outcomes or pressing, but how good we are. And it was a celebration of the seniors. I think that played a big part into it, and focusing on what we've been able to do and what the process is and how we've got to where we are. And I think reminding ourselves of that helped with the outcome took care of itself. So it was just kind of a celebration of all of the seniors here.
Said it perfectly. Just having just playing for the seniors, really making it fun for us, really got us moving forward, yeah.
Mason and then Ryan Jack.
Karlie, how much did it mean just to get the trust to get that start on Sunday? And was it weird at all going out and then having to come back in, or how did you handle that?
I think I leaned a lot on my faith. I've struggled kind of this season, especially with the pinky injury in the fall. But I just felt the Lord's presence so much, and I was just so confident. Even when KD was in there, I had all the confidence in the world in her. And so it was just kind of, I'm going to throw my stuff no matter what the outcome is, and I'm just going to go for it and try to do my best for my team.
Karlie, not necessarily like a Sunday-specific question, but how different is the mindset when you're starting versus coming out of the bullpen? Because your splits are pretty similar with both, and that's not constant across softball for a bunch of pitchers being able to give the same out of the pen.
I think I go into every game with the same mindset, whether that's coming in from the bullpen or starting. I'm just going to go out there, I'm going to trust what I do, and I'm going to do my best for my team. Whatever the team needs at that moment, whatever pitch Coach Rocha calls, that's what I'm going to put my all into and just focus on executing that.
Is that something you've always been really good at, just being able to be the same person either way?
Yeah, I don't really get too high, I don't really get too low. I feel like I ride a pretty constant wave, so.
Jesse.
Karlie, I guess along those lines, you mentioned kind of the pinky injury and stuff. Just how important maybe was last weekend in terms of the success you had both in relief and starting, just in terms of confidence heading into the Big 12 tournament and beyond?
Yeah, I think it was kind of the first time that I felt like my old self before the injury happened, and I think just being able to put all my trust and confidence in that, not have something in the back of my head of, oh, well, maybe, no. This is it. This is my pitch. We're going for it. And so to have that trust going into the postseason is really big.
Well, and Ella, for you, I know you've kind of been asked this before, but just we've gone through a lot of games in a regular season. Just what's maybe been that learning process like for you? What has stood out to you the most just about how much of the season we've got to so far and just going through that for the first time?
I've just learned to play in the mindset that you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Especially being a freshman, it's just taking advantage of all the opportunities you get. But that's what's really been driving all of this, is just playing aggressive and not being afraid to make any mistakes.
Ella, have you had any dips, or have you been able to stay even keeled the entire way?
Oh, I've had a lot of a lot of dips. But I think just what really sometimes, or a lot of dips, but learning how to be there for my teammates is what's got me out of that. If I'm not doing well, I know my teammates will pick me up, and I know that if someone else isn't doing their best, we'll pick each other up. But I think just having each other's backs is what really has been the key to all of this.
Daniel?
Yeah.
James?
Ella, you obviously had that big home run last Sunday. How big was that for you in the moment and for the team, considering y'all have the best results in the past 2 games?
honestly, I was just thinking of passing the bat to the next person. Cass got us going with that home run, and we were all fired up. But in that moment, I was just like, be aggressive, but remember to just keep passing the bat forward.
That was really big for the team.
How do you all think playing at low school in that environment is going to help you, playing a Big 12 tournament or World Series?
Go ahead. I just think like it is really loud and it is really intimidating for other teams to come in there. And I think just being like accustomed to that loudness and that level all the time for this long, I think will help us be unfazed in different environments or at Hall of Fame Stadium. So I think that's going to play a factor into how we can respond or how we can handle the crowd.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right.
Yeah, Karlie, you talked about sort of finally feeling 100% with everything. What's been that process like getting there? How much of it was physical coming back from the pinky? How much of it was mental?
I think it was a good mix of both. I think at the beginning it was definitely physical, but I think it was also giving myself grace and mentally being like, okay, yeah, realistically, I did really only have surgery 6 months ago, so kind of giving myself grace to work back into it. And it's a struggle because I'm used to not struggling like that, and so I think I really tried to focus on being a good teammate and cheering on my other pitchers and not caring about how I was doing and just getting in the bullpen and working as hard as I could and trusting in the process that it's going to come back to me because I'm working hard and because every day it's healing more and more. And so it was really just I had to lean into my faith and trust the Lord in the process and put my head down and grind, and fortunately it's starting to come together.
Was there a certain pitch or a certain thing that would maybe was the last thing to come through with that?
Not necessarily a specific pitch. I think just with maybe like pitch count, or the more I use it, like I could tell the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really good now. So hopefully it'll stay that way.
Anything else? Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, ladies.